Hi, my name's Steve Howes. I work for Siemens Process Instrumentation, and today we're going to continue our look at the Servcie PDM licenses. This is following on from my first blog that looked at the single tag license. We're moving on to basic and service licenses, which really are the building block for extended functionality. So here we have the full license portfolio again. As I've already suggested in the first blog, we looked at the single tag license, which, if you can remember, cannot be upgraded with these options. So we move on to the basic license and the next package up, which is service. And then in later blogs, we'll look at this functionality in more detail on what we can do with these option packages. So over the next few minutes, we'll have a deeper delve into the functionality of these two licenses. So the next license we're going to look at is Servcie Basic. So this is really the building block. So as I alluded to before, the single tag license cannot be upgraded. We really need to start with the basic. So the basic sits there in the middle, and we can see the basic part number at the top, the PDM 9.1, and that comes with 4 tags as standard. If we want to expand that, we can by adding more tags, and again you can see the part numbers, and then we can add extra functionality to this, which we'll go on to later on. But just to give you an idea, we can add the change log, calibration reports, more advanced import export functionality. So if you've got a large project, you can use LifeList to scan the network and it will tell you what's on there. And if you have this functionality, you can then import that into your project and it will automatically build your project up. So it's a much quicker way to get your projects up and running. We can then add the print and compare functions. So you see that we couldn't do that on the single tag. Heart multiplexers, now we can add that functionality. So heart multiplexers, just be careful, that includes wireless heart. The wireless heart gateway is a heart multiplexer. Okay, and then we can add the server client functionality, which will make sense as we go on. So you can build that all up yourself, but what Siemens has done for you is they've already created packs to make your product selection a little bit easier, and in some cases the cost is a little bit better than building it all up with separate licenses. You also only have one line item to put on your order, which we all like to make things simple. So the first license we're going to look at, presentation works, is the service license. So again, the part number is at the top. The service license, of course, comes with the basic license, and then it comes with an additional 50 tags. So all you get 54. Okay, so how can I use it? Well, the first place we can put it is on a service laptop. Okay, so let's have a look at where we can install this. So we can use it as a point-to-point. There's nothing wrong with using it how we would use a single tag license, but of course, you know, we can have a project with 54 devices, so we don't have to keep creating multiple projects, but we can still do point-to-point configuration. We can then start connecting it to Profibus DP networks to route down to other instruments through subnets. Remember I said that was an issue before because the header module was there. Well, now I can connect PDM because I've got the 54 tags. I can route all the way through my I/O down to my heart instruments. And we can't do a presentation without talking about Profinet. It's coming. There's more and more remote I/O coming to give us really nice functionality. It's a lot faster. You'll see when you start using, if you've used PDM on Profibus DP PA networks, if you start doing that on Profinet with Profibus PA, so here we have the compact field unit, you'll start to see a big difference in operating times. So we can have a laptop with a standard Ethernet cable As long as we've got a spare RJ45 connector on site, we can connect to that, assign your PC, an IP address that will work on that network, and then we can start communicating to the devices. So that's fine as a service tablet, but as I said, you want to start thinking about how we can make a difference. Well, let's start thinking about leaving PDM on site, because we need to start supporting the complete life cycle. Okay, and that's easily achieved. PCs these days are quite cheap, and we can put PDM on a standard desktop, or we can start using some industrial PCs from Siemens or other suppliers. And one of the things I wanted to show you is a real nice PC here. So we have the service license, sorry, not the single tag. There's our part number, and we can extend it by adding the extended license, the multiplexer license, or we can add additional tags. Okay. Available from Siemens is this nice miniature industrial PC, which it's got various DIN rail mount options, wall mount, so we can put it in a cabinet. Got a display port. It doesn't come with a monitor or whatever. Customer would have to purchase that themselves. We've got two separate RJ45 connections, so that does lend us to, when PDM generates these XML reports, we can start pushing those to a central location on your office network, for instance, rather than on your plant network. So you can start using these generated reports maybe for some cloud applications. So this little device is about 4 inches by 4 inches, so it doesn't take up much room in your panel or on your wall, and it's a solid state, no moving parts PC, so it's good for those dusty environments. So I have another project open now. So this project has a few more instruments on. It is a demo project, but imagine this could be a large plant with much more I/O on. So I have a little demo rig here with a compact field unit with a couple of level instruments on, a Siemens level switch and radar, and then I have another set of remote I/O. So this is an ET200SP, and this has a HART input card, and I have a TH300 temperature probe. Let's start having a look at some of the nice features. Where we were doing single tag, we would have to upload the parameters from one device at a time. I can connect to the whole network. Let's do PDM, load to PCPG. So we're going to upload all the parameters from the instruments on my plant. Okay, so I want to do all of the sub networks and all of the instruments. So it's found all of these. When I start my communication, I can see now that it's communicating to the instruments and uploading them. So here you'll see this is a Profibus P8 radar, 26 gigahertz radar. If you've ever played with PDM or used PDM on a Profibus DP to PA coupler, with one device it's okay. As you start adding more and more devices, you're governed by the cycle time of the network and the acyclic gap that you get in that network. So the more information you read back cyclically, the longer it takes to cycle round, and you only have that small gap to gather that information. Now, we're not governed by that on a Profinet network, so we get much faster update times. So hopefully the TH300 shouldn't have any faults. So I've done that. Within this environment, there's no save, it automatically saves. So again, we've got all of the functionality. So if I open my object properties on here, I've still got no documentation tab because I need an additional license for that. So this looks very much like my update that I would get on the single tag version, because as I said, the EDD functionality is not affected by the license that you've got. So if I go to the radar, I Hopefully under diagnostics, loss of echo, unable to get measurement, possible causes, invalid calibration range, material buildup, clean if necessary. So you get into the fault pretty quick with a Siemens instrument because of these error messages. So I want to delve into the parameters in more detail. So rather than opening up one device at a time, I can open up the whole Profinet network, and I can jump from one instrument to the other. So I can see there I'm at the top. So if I go onto the compact field unit, I have configuration wizards here that I can use to configure that. Then if I go to view, I can life list from here, and then I can update my diagnostics. As I come down, I'm now going to click on the radar. I have a few more parameters. So it's changed my menu structure to suit the radar. I have a quick start wizard for Siemens device, echo profile utilities, and I can view my process values. So this is always worth doing. I mean, it doesn't really matter on a Profibus PA device because no scaling is required, but if you were on the heart device and somebody was just bringing back the 4 to 20, then it would be worth looking in here. So it's gone to its fail-safe condition. You see the process is bad. So to finish off, we're going to have a look at some of the features that are not enabled on this combination. So this is the same if you have the basic license or the service license, because the service license is just the basic license with additional tags. So if we start looking at our functionality, the value comparison needs the extended license, calibration log needs the extended license, and the change log now needs the extended license. And unfortunately we do take a little bit of a step back with the basic license, because now on this we can't print, we need the extended license for that, and also the import export functions are not supported. So all of these require the PDM extended license. So this concludes the look at the basic and service license for Somatic PDM. We'll be looking ahead in future blogs at the extended and server client license. But for now, thanks for listening, and I hope it was useful.